I'm working on a Z725 Kubota. It has a Kohler engine on it, and I've diagnosed that it has one bad coil, but I'm going to replace both of them. So stick around and we'll get right to it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this plate off. There's 4 bolts. They take a 1/2 inch socket or wrench. I got to have this off because I got to get to this cooler and get it off. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to probably take it off. But you can do a lot better with that off. Just go ahead and take these 2 bolts off, and there's 2 more here on the bottom. So right now I'm going to start disconnecting things, starting with this. That is for the charging system. I'm just going to take this, push it aside a little bit, disconnect it just to get it out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and leave this connected, but I got a bolt down here. Either a 5/16 or an 8mm. Like I said, these 2 screws here just hold this plate on. This is for the charging system. I'm going to go ahead and take this bolt out, and it's a 10mm, and there's another one underneath there. I'll see if I can show it to you. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right up under here, and it is also a 10mm. Now this thing here should just fall away unless I got another bolt in it, and I don't think I do. There it is, but it is got a little bit of debris on it, so I'll clean that off. I'm going to go ahead and remove this bolt and that bolt from this fuel pump and get it out of the way, because it is attached to the piece of the housing that we need to remove. Those are also 10mm. And just like that, it's out of the way. I'll go ahead and remove this bracket right here. It also takes 10mm. Most of this is 10mm, just in case I forget to mention it. I'm going to go ahead and grab these latches here and move this seat forward, because I'm going to need the room. I'm going to come around here to the other side of the engine where the dipstick is for the oil, and it is behind the seat. And you can see I got a couple of bolts here, screws, whatever you want to call them. I got one here, I got one here. I shouldn't have to move this because it looks like it's not connected, but I will have to take and unbolt it from here, if you can see that, because it's in the way of that screw there. And I may not have to do anything except for loosen this up. I may not have to take it out. Let me check it out and see. Yes, you definitely have to take that bolt right there out in order to move it around to get this bolt out. It's got to come out. Those are removed. Now I'm going to go to the other side. Now on top of this here, this has got to come off. This here is a T25. You also have these spacers underneath there. You don't want to lose these spacers. Once you get them all out, you should only have 3. Just take it off, and as you can see, this is only going to go back on one way. I'm going to go ahead and remove this by taking these 8mm bolts out, and hopefully it'll just fall off. Now see if it comes right off. Nope, I got something else going on over here. Now I'm going to have to remove this hose right here, which is connected to this. I should just be able to pull it off there like so. Just leave it attached to this. Go ahead and tilt this back this way. Move this out of the way. For these small engines, I always use a 1/4 inch drive. That should be all the bolts for the housing. Now unfortunately I have to go down here, take all 4 of these nuts off. 2 on this side, 2 on that side. They're actually holding the carburetor on as well. I won't mess with the carburetor. I'm just wanting to take this air filter housing off and get it out of my way. They are also 10mm. I'm also using a magnet so I don't lose my nuts down there. Now let's see if this comes off. Oh yeah, there we go. We got a clamp down there. That's it. Everything's off right there. Put it out of the way. You have this on the bottom right here. When you put that bolt back in, make sure this is there because it holds this in place. Now as you can see, it's all loose except for this right here. So I got to get past this to get this cover off. So let me go ahead and take these two screws out right here and see where that gets me. Now that I got these two screws right here out, I'm going to go right down here. I'm going to take this linkage right here off because I think that's the only thing that's holding this in place. All you have to do is grab it behind here, because right here's the linkage, and pop it off that linkage. You may need to use a screwdriver right here, and I can pull it off with my finger. And then go ahead and pull this out. That's all it is right there. I'm going to push this linkage out and just let it sit there. Okay. Now all I got to do is take this and I can move it out of the way a little bit. Get the leaves out of there. I think I might be able to get by with this. The linkage here is off. Get it out of the way. I might be able to squeeze through here. Let me see. Nope, I'm going to have to remove this nut right here. This here is also 10 millimeter. Got the nut. This here should come up off of here. Just watch, make sure you don't drop anything. It can only go on one way because this thing here is squared off. So let me see what I can do here. Take note of the orientation of this. It goes on just like this because this, you can go ahead and remove it. Don't lose your spring or your washer. Now with this out of the way, I have to get in here and remove these two 8 millimeter bolts to get this bracket off that's in the way of this housing coming off. Now that everything's off, I do believe I should be able to pull this housing up and off. But I still have something holding it. I got one more screw or bolt over on that side. I missed a bolt. It's back behind here because there's actually one that comes out here, and right next to it on the other side there's another bolt, 10 millimeter. Let me go ahead and get that one out. Now I can see I have to take these 4 bolts out because this screen is holding that on there, and that should take care of it. They're long. Lift this off. This should lift off now. Get it out of the way. Here's one of the coils that was bad. Here's the other coil. It's good, but I'm still going to replace it because I don't want to have to come back in here again. Because if that one went out, this one's probably not far from it. What? Now that I got this all off, I'm going to go ahead and lift this and get it out of the way. This only goes on one way. Because as you can see that right there, there's an indentation right here where you just put it on there. So I'm going to get this out of the way so nothing is lost or broken. I'm going to remove the spark plugs so that I have an easier time turning this wheel. Now this here is a 1/2 inch. I can just put a wrench on there just like that, and I can move this. While I got the spark plugs out, I can move it to set my coil. So I want to go ahead and I want to remove this kill switch. I want to remove this kill switch. Then I'm going to take out this bolt, and I got 2 on the other coil. I'm going to go ahead and take this emery cloth. I'm going to clean the magnetic side of the flywheel. It does have some rust on it, but it don't look real bad. This is a new coil. It's aftermarket. A lot cheaper than an OEM. This is the original. This coil here would have costed $161 just for the one coil, and the only difference I can see is it has this little piece right here that goes down through here. I don't know what that's about. I'll just set them both down right here, same way the other ones came off. Make sure it reaches the spark plug. Now that I got these bolted down, I'm going to go ahead and set them. In some specs it says that these can be gap between 8 and 12. This business card is 0.11 and a half, so I'll use this one and see what kind of clearance I get. I'm just going to turn this to get this magnet all the way around. Oh, too far. My business card moved right like that. I want to turn it. It's a little better. There we go. Crumbled the card up, but I'll snug that down and see what kind of setting I get. Don't crank these down too tight. You don't want to break them or strip them out. I have a 10 and a 12. I'm going to go ahead and try the 10, which is this one right here. See what kind of gap I get. See, just to make sure. Almost unreadable. But yeah, this one's a 12. The 10 goes in. Get it on the magnet there. It is tight. Yeah, 12 won't even go in there, so I need to get these set to where they are. I like at least a good loose 10. Well, this is a 10. Oh yeah, that's good. 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 I can live with that. Now I'll go ahead and do the other one. I'm going to do it with the other business card that I have and see what it turns out to be. Now that one slid right in there pretty smooth, so I'll tighten that down, see what kind of reading I get. Go ahead and pull it out of there. Push it back now. I'll see if... Oh, that fits good. Good. Around there. That one there. That one's too tight. I gapped this one here at 12, and I'm getting a nice snug 10. So I'm good with that. Now I'll go ahead and put the spark plugs in and then start putting it back together. Don't forget to put your kill wires on, or else you'll be taking it all back apart. Now that I got these hooked up, I'm going to put the plastic air fin on here. And remember, this only goes on one way. So you can see right here, right here. Just sit down on there. It'll snap in place, just like that. Make sure it is nice and secure and snug. Put your spacer on there, like so. Now I'm ready to put the housing on there. It doesn't matter if this falls off because you can reach from the inside here. So drop this on here. And it goes on the outside of some and on the inside of others. Spark plug. Make sure it is set in place. You don't want it to get kinked. And it may take you a minute to get this set. So once I get it all set on there real good, I'll be right back. Take your time, take a minute to look all the way around this and make sure it's down on there, snug and tight and in the places it should be, because you don't want to have to take this back off. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the screws back in it all the way around it. I got 2 down here. I got 2 over here. Pretty much the same on both sides. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like, yeah, 7 screws. I'm going to go ahead and put those in. I'm going to start with these 2 right here first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put that screen back on top of here first. Now remember, this here goes right here, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and put that on there. And remember, 10mm heads on this. Do yourself a favor and do not tighten these down yet until you get all 7 of them started in. Okay, I got both of those started. I don't know if you can see that one in the back, but they're right next to each other almost. I'm not going to tighten them down. I'm going to come back and go around after I get them all started, like I said earlier. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the bolt in behind this dipstick. I'll put this one over here in, and then I'll go ahead and mount the dipstick back up the way it was before I remove the bolt. And the 2 that I'm putting in down here are 8mm heads, so they're smaller than the other ones that came out, as you can see right here. And I got those started, and I got one more. It was right down here on this piece. I'm going to go ahead and put it in. And I'm going to go ahead and snug it down and go back around and get the other 6. And right here's the one that came out of here. It's kind of green. Goes right there. It's in, and I'll go ahead and hook this up. That part's finished. Now that I have all the bolts around the housing tightened up, we'll go ahead and put that oil cooler right there on. It takes 2 screws. When you go to bolt this oil cooler back up, look down in here, because right there is where the bolt is, right at the edge of the metal. It's got a little clip in there, as you can see. So it's not back in there. You got to pull this oil cooler out in order to get it to mount up. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, on this I'm going to go ahead and put the bottom screw in right here. I'm going to put it in first. It goes right in here. It goes right up through the plastic piece. So let's see how that works out. It's right there. I think I got it. That was a lot easier putting the bottom one in first. Okay. Get it started. Go ahead and put the top one in. Tighten it down. Tighten the bottom one down. That's it. I'll work my way on around here to the fuel pump. I'm going to mount it up. 2 screws. Put it up here like so. Get them started. I'm going to run them in. Now we'll move right on along, and I'll go ahead and put that bracket on right here. Bracket's going to go like this. I'm going to put these screws in there. I'm going to snug them down. Now I've got to put this piece back on there. Just like this. So I'm going to go ahead and put the screws in it. Now I need to go ahead and put this on the linkage. But right now I'm just going to go ahead and hook this onto the linkage bar. I'm going to put it right in here. We'll put this linkage right here. I don't know if you can see it. See right here? Right here it is. Put this in here. I'm going to put the linkage through that. I'm going to clamp it down onto it. It'll clip right there, and that's good to go. This will come up through this hole right here, and I will put the rest of that stuff together right there. But I'll remove this cable here. I'm going to put this back on later. These are easy to set. Now I'm going to go ahead and try and get this on there. A lot easier to put this where it needs to be. without the cable connected to it. This will go right up in here. Now I'll go ahead and I'll hook this up and show you how it's supposed to be. Now just take this rod, poke it up through there like that, as far as it'll go. Put your spring on there. Put this mechanism on there, it goes on there just like that. Only goes on one way. Slide it on there. Put the washer on. Put your fiber nut on there. Get it started. Tighten it down. Okay, that's how that goes back on there. Now, what I'm going to do, hook this cable back up. Put it in this second one right here. Go ahead, take this off right here. Get it started right here. Should start right back in there. Should. I don't want to cross thread it. There it goes. Now, what I want to do, throttle back, throttle up. I want to throttle it up, throttle back. That's low right there. That's full throttle. Now, what we got to do, we got to set this. That should be turtle right there. That should be full throttle. Okay, we're going to set this after we get it running, because somebody had it set right there. I don't understand that, but we will get to that later. Right now, that's where it's set. Now I'm going to go ahead and bolt that right there back down. It takes 2 screws. You can see where they go. One here, one on the other side. Takes care of that. Now I'll go ahead and put the air filter on. Slide it in those 4 bolts right there, sticking out. I'm going to hook this hose right here up. Now I'll go ahead and put the 4 nuts on here. Remember, this one here down at the bottom on my side here gets this on there. Okay, let's move around to the other side. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the bolts in here. Actually, you use an 8mm socket or wrench on these. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the screen back on here. It only goes on one way and takes 3 screws that uses a T25 bit. Now I got to put this back on. Last piece. Now I'll go ahead and put it on. I'll put this up in here like so. Just like that. Get in there just like that. And kind of feed it in. And kind of pull up on this. Just pull up on it. It'll go right in. There you go. Yeah, use a 1/2 inch to put these back in. That should be lined up. It is. This one here should be lined up. Like, comment, subscribe, share with friends. Thanks for watching.